This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you an interview with Anil Agarwal, Joint Secretary in Ministry of Commerce and Industry, on Prime Minister's meeting to boost manufacturing of Indian toys. The interviewer is Rajesh Rai, journalist.
The Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a detailed discussion and meeting with senior ministers and officials yesterday on ways to promote toys manufacturing in India to strengthen India's self-reliance in this sector. So you can brief our listeners just a little bit about the industry. How is the industry in terms of size, whether it is organized or unorganized?
Toys industry in India is largely under what we call as the MSME sector. So we have a large MSME sector. We have about 4,000 manufacturing units, which have mostly micro units. There are some small and medium units and very small number of large units, which are actually in the business of producing toys. Apart from this, we have more than 30,000 handicraft units, which are actually producing a number of toys, which are spread across the country. Now, if you look at in terms of overall volumes, so the organized toy industry in India is about 4,000 crores. We have the domestic toy industry, which produces about 7,000 crores, which includes all these handicraft units. And if you look at the locations of these units, the handicraft units are spread across the entire country. In fact, many districts have their own specific toys and there are clusters around them. And if you look at major machine manufacturing clusters, they are actually concentrated areas like Delhi NCR. We have units in Noida, Greater Noida. Another cluster we have in Mumbai, Vapi, Silvassa, Daman. That is one cluster for machine manufacturing. We have some units in Chennai and also Goa. So this is the broad overview of the toy sector. And on top of what we produce in the country, we have a large demand which is being met at the moment from imports. So a lot of plastic toys, especially, almost 85% of our plastic toys are imported as of today. So this is the broad overview in terms of the toys industry.
So why the sector is giving so much of importance? What is there in the sector? Why the government is focusing so much on this?
If you look at toys, these are the fundamental building blocks of what a human being is. We start learning. The moment a child is born, he starts learning with toys. So his entire mental development, emotional development, the way he develops physical strength, in fact, even social interaction, everything is based on learning that the toys enable. And when we look at toys, they are not just something to learn from or for a child's human development. They are actually a very important tool of learning about our own culture, our own value system, our own history. So this is something very important. And if you look at the kind of toys that are used by the masses, you will realize that it is about our own culture, our own values, the way we organize our social relationships. So this is why toys are extremely important in shaping a human being's early learnings, which make the foundation of the later future years.
The Prime Minister in his yesterday's meeting has said that the toys don't only have the cultural connect but also helps in building life skills and psychomotor skills among children at an early age.
Absolutely. So if you look at the utility of toys, like you have an infant, just born. So, the kind of things that an infant needs is, building grips, the tactile simulation. Then, there are musical toys to simulate hearing, to simulate sounds. As the child grows, he learns reach, grasp. Then, teething starts. Then you have squeezing toys. Then toys that roll and make sounds when touched. So basically, all our cognitive skills of children are based on learning from the toys. So not just cultural things, but it is about learning cognitive. And then, when the child grows a little, it is about learning a language. So you can teach languages, our own mother tongue, with the specially designed toys. And the learning outcomes have been shown to be much, much better than the traditional tools that we are using now. So this is what is the message that we are saying, that toys are not just used for psychomotor skills, but also for life skills.
So what we are thinking, sir, how we are planning to promote and boost the manufacturing of toys industry in India?
First of all, our efforts are that we must use indigenous toys. We must use toys which are designed in.
Yes.
So we need to build toys which are based on our own culture, and they need to be designed properly. We already have some design centers have been established. We want to improve designs of toys. The second part is about transferring these designs to the industry. There are specific efforts required for transfer of these designs to MSMEs, then to the larger industry, and then to support the industry to be able to build those toys at scale. If you look at a number of clusters in India, we have identified 12 clusters which are making specific kinds of toys in the country. So, for example, you have wooden toys coming from Varanasi and Chitrakoot from UP. You have Tanjore dolls coming in from Tamil Nadu. You have Nirbal toys coming in from Telangana. You have Kinhan toys, Lekar toys coming in from Karnataka. And then you have Kathputlis coming in from Rajasthan. You have leather toys coming in from Madhya Pradesh. There's so many different varieties of toys. But today if you look at this, most of the toys are limited in reach. So why can't we have toys which are based on the pride of our own culture? For example, if there is a queen in Manipur who is very famous, then we need to have toys designed around that and promote it across the country. Why not globally? There are of our history, of our civilization, our culture in South India, in the Central India, in the Western part, in the Northern part. Whole lot of these stories, they need to come out. We need to have pride in our own heritage, in our own culture. And idea of having pride is inculcation of the right kind of values in the children. So this is one aspect. The second aspect about the whole thing is, build an entire ecosystem based on new toys, the indigenous toys. How can we have students involved in designing of these toys? The higher education institutions involved in designing toys. Could we have some innovation hackathons, and could we have startups, looking at some of these designing of toys, which can be very, very specific, which could look at specific things. So there are a whole lot of things that can be done for looking at toys as an important medium for promoting, being vocal for local, and Atmanirbhar toys.
You talked about designing, involvement of startups. So have we come out, or are we preparing some kind of specific guidelines over which we can promote this designing and attract startups?
These are at this point of time at the stage of discussion, at the stage of consultation, and the government is working towards whatever we've just discussed. So we are positively moving forward in this direction.
Sir, the Prime Minister has also talked about, like you said, about clusters. So he has said there are several toys clusters and thousands of artisans who are producing indigenous toys. So what ways we are looking to attract those artisans and promote those clusters?
We support industrial clusters. We could support toy clusters specifically. We will also be looking at upgradation of manufacturing technology, and then, marketing as a Jan Andolan kind of message. So creation of campaigns on a large scale, apart from some very backed by solid designing and then transferring of technology to manufacturing units across the verticals of artisans, MSMEs, and the larger units. So we can organize these artisans into producer companies so that they get organized, and then each of these companies can be supported financially. They can be supported in terms of building brands, building market linkages. They could be given loans like we do for different industries.
The other important parameters which come into play in the sector is quality. So how we are focusing on developing norms so that our industry produce quality toys who can meet global standards.
A lot of imported toys that are available in the market currently do not have the right quality. They are cheap, and they are actually harmful to the children. So, what we did was 121 different varieties of toys were actually purchased by us, and then they were submitted to the proper laboratories whether they are conforming to the Indian standards. And the results were absolutely surprising. 30% of plastic toys fail to meet the safety standards of admissible levels of chemicals in the plastic. 80% of toys failed on mechanical and physical safety properties. The existing toys which are there in the market today. Then, in case of electric toys, the failure was 75%. And overall, only 33% toys which are available in the market today were found to be safe from all possible angles. So, what we have done is, to ensure that appropriate quality toys are available, we have made the standards compulsory for manufacturing and selling in the country.
Right.
Now, what is called as a quality control order for toys. So we had issued a quality control order for toys in February this year, and that is going to be implemented from the 1st of September now. So from the 1st of September, all the toys which do not meet the Indian standards will not be able to be sold in the market. So after that, you can be sure that the toys that are available in the market meet the appropriate quality.
The Prime Minister also has stated in yesterday's meeting that toys can be an excellent medium to further the spirit of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat.
It is about unity and diversity. As I gave an example, some local hero in Manipur, which is
Yes.
only known locally. Now, can we have toys around those stories which are very inspiring for entire India, spread across the whole country? Can we have stories from somebody down south come out as an awareness campaign to the whole country? Similarly,
Right.
for all other things. So this is what is Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Can we bring out the best of what is there in different parts of the country and give it to everyone so that we have pride in remote corners of our country and take out the jewels that are there in those corners.
So the things which you are explaining need a creation of a highly or semi-skilled manpower in the sector. So are we looking at working in that direction also?
Oh yes, of course. We will have to create a large pool, not only for, as I said, designing, we start with designing. Then you need to develop skills of making toys and puppets, for example. You can have a toy fair. Then you can also create a digital repository of all the toys that are available.
Yes.
And then, toys need to be used as a learning resource. Can we have toys used in preschool education? Can we have toys used in pre-teen education in the schools as part of the curriculum? And then can we build the capacities of our teachers in using those toys as an important pedagogical tools? So all these are thoughts around which, the strategy is focusing on.
Sir, what kind of role you foresee for states who want to play a key role in promoting manufacturing of toys in India? The role of states?
Ultimately, it is about creating awareness and then using it through the different media. For example, we can use all the education systems. We can use it in manufacturing. We can have the startups do this, and there is consumer awareness. We can create awareness around what kinds of toys are desirable, what are the kind of toys that are not desirable for particular age groups. We could also have campaigns focused on ill effects of online gaming. So states will have a major role in all these things, in implementing all this, in taking all the stakeholders together and then taking them forward.
So the development of online games also comes under toy sector, or it is under a separate segment?
There is no classification that way. You have toys and games are sometimes imported in the same category. So online gaming and toys, although strictly it could be different. But then, when you are looking at learning resources, then you need to have a look at everything that is there. We will also be looking at, developing video games based on Indian themes. If you look at video games that are available for children, have a lot of violence and treasure hunt and things like that. So they promote a different kind of values, different kind of culture. Can we have these games designed in a different manner, which promote those values that we cherish more than killing somebody, violence, or earning more money? So that is the kind of thing that we are looking at.
What kind of export opportunities we can tap after developing the sector in India?
If you look at the global toys market, it is about $100 billion. And the Indian toy market is just $1.5 billion. So we are just about 1.5% of the global market. And we have assimilated culture. We have the right kind of values. And if we have indigenous toys, we see huge opportunities, not just where Indians are staying, but these kind of toys, the cognitive toys, the toys as learning resources for all age groups in different languages, they are likely to be used in many geographies around the world. So there are huge export opportunities.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You were listening to an interview with Anil Agarwal, Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, on Prime Minister's meeting to boost manufacturing of Indian toys. The interviewer is Rajesh Rai, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.